it's still actually a mixture of things. But it always depends on whether it's an entrepreneur with an idea he'd like to turn into a digital product, or if it's a startup, even an established business that's looking to improve their digital product or their services offering in some way. So we get approaches like, we're losing customers at the checkout of our e-commerce platform. Can you help us improve our conversion rates? Or I'd want to create an app for a niche market that I've identified in an entrepreneur's case. Or, I mean, it could be also something really general like, oh, you make websites. Ours is getting pretty old and our CEO wants a new one, so can you build it? Sometimes people are not really sure exactly what service they need themselves, so we like to sit down with them and just have a chat about the problem it is that they would like to solve and hear about their business goals as well. Any UX project is always broken up into processes and stages, so it's kind of rarely finished, so to speak. So for example, if a client hasn't done a market analysis already, it means that we might start a project with some usability testing or evaluating existing products that are on the markets before moving on to something like investigating their target audience, writing personas or user journeys. When we've got these kind of building blocks in place, we can then start moving on to sketching an interface or a concept for their problem. So, and that will then become the foundation for their product. Ideally, as early on in the product development as possible. We always say this to our clients, we'd love to just be in there from when their first germ of the idea happens, but obviously you can't be in the same room as everybody, although we do secretly stalk all entrepreneurs and pick all of their brains. So no, but let's say like our understanding of the different phases of product development, and as well at the moment, obviously all of the product cycles of products are getting really, really short these days. So that's really valuable and crucial to the work that we do with our clients. Investing in user experience once, let's say, when you're developing an idea into a product is not really enough. It shouldn't be a checkbox that you tick just because you heard it at startup camp that you need to get some UX done. If you're really trying to imbue a user experience concept throughout your whole product, it requires a lot of restraint and dedication as well. So it's more of a long-term investment. In the best case, the user experience should really be something that you openly discuss throughout the entire company, not just the design team or the development teams. Our goal is really always to identify and build the most solid foundation of your product first. So we're always looking to solve your user's biggest pain at the outset. That's definitely our focus for the first version of your product. So let's say that right now product A, let's call it Listorama, is being used by users to create shopping lists. But it's not really optimal in your opinion or a million other people's opinions. So in your product, we'd aim to fix the user journey when performing just that specific task. We'd try to make that the best experience on the market. Chances are that there are a ton of features in Listorama that are not conducive to really creating a good shopping list. So in your product, you can get rid of all this other junk so that users can just focus on that task. Over time, then they'll go, like your users will probably go from telling you from that's the best way I've ever done a shopping list and it was done in 5 minutes, you saved my life. And they'll probably end up saying things like, well, it'd be great if now I could also do ordering straight from your shopping list. So when you've got enough calls for them from your users saying they want to do this one other thing, then it will be time for us to say iterate on your product and build that feature into it. So making the most simplified and stripped down version of your product is what we always recommend, but it's really sometimes irritating for the product developers and our clients who have the big vision already in their heads. There's always some kind of look of anguish on their face when we tell them at first we need to make their product really dumb. They're kind of thinking that, oh, hang on a minute, we haven't come to the right place, but and they always want to incorporate all of the features that could ever be needed to do with everything that has remotely something to do with a specific task. But based on our experience, we see the best successes when these owners allow time for their product to grow organically, and they incorporate a lot of feedback, and they're always listening to their users' comments and what they actually use, rather than just following a roadmap of features they'd like to build in there for their own portfolio. We know that it's always really tempting to try to solve all of the problems, that every user you've ever interviewed in your market research. But users, they really need to see the tangible value and the huge benefit in the core of your product first, and not get overwhelmed with how many features that it has. I mean, 80% of your users won't be masters of your software or product, so they won't use them, and over time they'll probably just find an alternative product. So when you have a solid foundation to work from, and you're really listening to your users over time, learning from them and how they're using your product, it's a lot easier to take inspiration for new features and improvements when you're building and iterating your product in the future. You need to carry your users on a journey of the product development with you. I mean, just look at let's just look at the iPhone. You know, I mean, that's just always taking users from the very first beginnings and how to even use a smartphone and touches, surfaces, and things like that. And really, users have been carried on a journey with them over generation to generation. So yeah, I mean, as much as you might not like it, we will tell you at the start to make your product dumb, but we think that it's an investment over time that will pay off